So in previous classes, I will explain what is the React, why React, so how to install the React, how to set up the React, and what is the components, how to create the functional components, how to create the class components. So these type of things I already explained in the previous classes. Now I'm going to explain in today classes what are the JSX, what is JSX, and what are the state and what is the props in there. So in today's classes I will explain what is JSX, what is the props, and what is the JSX. I will explain today class. So before that, as per explained previously, you need to things take care of how to create the components, how the functional component, class component. You need to be aware of this. Okay. First, let me start now. What is the JSX in React? So JSX means, so coming to the point, what is the JSX in React? So JSX means JavaScript and XML in HTML. In the other way, so coming to the what is the JSX? JSX. So JSX JavaScript in in XML format. In XML. In other words, we can use integration of the JavaScript in HTML. Okay. So as per I said in previous classes, so every React component only return one particular element. In that element, we have the multiple HTML elements. So every React component returns some UV part. So every React component returning some UV part, right? So UV part means it is some HTML. Now this HTML is the static. So it is not any dynamic. I mean there is no JavaScript. Now I want to use JavaScript in this UV part. So I want to make dynamic. So for that only we use the JSX. Okay, let me explain. For example, first point JSX. Let's for example declare the one variable. Okay, just declare one variable let us declare one title like constant title. So I declare the variable with the name title. So this is for example. So title is like this is React. This is the React. Okay. I want to expand the hello. So this is the React title. So this is the Java. So I declare the variable. I declare the variable with the name title with the name title. Now I want to use this variable in HTML. So this is the JavaScript and this is the HTML. Now I want to use this JavaScript variable in HTML. For that one I use the JavaScript JSX format. So if you want to use this variable in this HTML, for example, I want here. So what I will do is I will use the braces, curly braces. So in this curly braces, I use this variable in this variable. So in this way, what I did, I create a variable JavaScript. The JavaScript I integrated the HTML in the curly brackets. So what if you if in the HTML if you use the curly brackets, the between the curly brackets everything is the JavaScript. So this is the format of called the JSX. So integrating JavaScript in the HTML. If you want to integrate JavaScript variables or functions anything, you need to put in the curly brackets. So you need to use the curly brackets. So in this curly brackets, you put the JavaScript. So this is the JX format. Let's see. So now I define a variable title. This variable I integrate in the HTML. Let me check. Now I'm running the application. To run the React application, what is the command? npm start. if you see here, so here course title, the React course. See here we got right React, right? So for example, if I change this variable value, for example, if you change a variable like Angular, like otherwise like Java. So now in the place of title, what I will get Java. Let's see. You see like Java here. So the we are the JavaScript part we integrate the HTML. If in JavaScript will change automatically wherever you call this value. For example, I calling here again the same variable I calling here. Here also automatically it will change. Dynamically change. See here and here. See. So in this way we declare the so in this way we can if we want to use JavaScript in HTML use the curly brackets. So whatever put in the between the curly brackets that is completely JavaScript, which is called JX format. And in JX format we have some rules. In JX format we have some rules. So for example, first rule is so we need to put the everything in the curly brackets. Second thing. If you want any class, like generally in the HTML, for example, I want to do some class here. Okay. So class for that one use a class attribute. Let's say test. But in the React, if you want to use the class name, class attribute, it must be in the camel class and class name must be like as class name. This is the way we write the class attribute in the HTML in the React component. So second thing is class must be camel class name. Generally, in HTML, you use the class attribute only. General HTML, you use a class only. But in the React component HTML, if you use the class as the class name only. Just remember this is second thing. Third thing. For example, we use the image tag. Let's say image tag. Let's say I use the on URL. Let's say, for example, logo something. Let's say I'm giving some image here. Okay. Otherwise, take the image some URL from Google. Okay, like so flavor. Okay. So for example, I want to put in this image. So let's take the I want to open. Just sorry. Let's take one image like any image like movie. Okay. So image. I want to put this like for example, I want to put this image. So open image this. Now I'm taking this image URL. Okay. Or with the others take simple image. So Titanic. So this is the image URL. Now what here? Image src I give that URL. Okay. Now I close the image tag. See, generally in HTML, if there is no closing tag for the image, right? So I remove the closing tag. Okay. Now same. See, it's showing some error. Now I close, but here it's telling some error because the image see the JSX element image must have the closing tag. So image must have the closing. We must use a slash here. It does not close tag wise, so we must use a slash here. But generally, if you miss the closing slash in the HTML, it will take. But in the JSX in the React, image tag must have the slash. Okay, image tag must have the slash. So we got the image also. Okay, so three things. So third point is image must have the closing tag. Okay. So in this way, we can define a variable. If you want to use that variable in the HTML, we put the JavaScript in the braces. So wherever one, we put the JavaScript braces. Let's let's take I create one function here. Okay, like a constant function. Next function name is test. Okay. So if we call this function, I call one alert box like alert say hi. Okay. If I call the first function, I got alert box like say hi, right? Say hi. Now I want to call this function when I click a button. So what I will do is I'll click I will write a button here. Okay. I'm writing a button here. Okay. Like click here. Okay. So if I click this button, I want to call this function. Generally, what we will is here. Generally, on click equal to here we are calling the JavaScript this function. So what we use JSX, we use the bracket here. In this bracket, we need to call this function test function. So this is called the events handling in Java in React. So what we are doing is we write the function on click. Okay, on click we must call this function. So that's why this function JavaScript. What we are using, I put the brackets, curly brackets. In this curly brackets, I write the test function. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's run the script. Okay, okay. Now I click the click function. It's not coming because your this function is calling on page load only because here directly you are binding. But if you add like here, this is the arrow function. Like in then only if you click, then only automatically if you write directly here, this function calling when the page load. But if you want call this function on click, so what I will do is first on click equal to curly brackets. In the curly brackets, you use the arrow function. Arrow function Java. If you use an arrow function, so you need to call this function test, right? So now on click code, then I call the arrow function. Let's see now. So see here, now I'm clicking. It's not coming because here I think it must be camel case. Okay, let's see here. It's came right. So in JavaScript, in the React, in JSX, event functions must be the camel case. And whatever function you want to call when click the when do the event and click, we use the arrow function. So for event functions, for events are camel cases like on click, on mouse over, like this. Okay. So we need to put in the color brackets and we use the arrow function here. Here function name, right? So in this way, if you see here, the button on click, camera clicks, I put the color bracket between the color brackets. I call the arrow function, and I call this function. In this way, we write the event handler in the JSX. So these are the main conditions. And one thing, JSX, you must have one root element. For example, you must have the one root element. Okay. Now here one, one thing is that there is a concept called React fragment. React fragment. What is the React fragment? Means I told you, right? The every component retain only one root element. So here the div is the one. This is the main root element. So but the thing is, even if you use the div some root element as div, it takes the some extra space. But now I want to return all the in the one root element, but I don't want to take the any space. Then instead of div I use like this. So this is the empty element. Say empty element. There is no tag name. So for this one is it's not taking any space. That's way, and the root element is, so all the elements comes under this root element, right? And this root element is an element without name. These are called the fragment. So because why we use the fragment as the root element, because it does not occupy any space in browser memory. Does not take any code. If you use any normal element, like if you use the root element as the div element, any paragraph element, it takes just some memory or some space. So if you want to use one root element for the all the elements without any tag name, then use the React fragment. So these are the React fragments. React fragment is one root element without any nor tag names. So it is has a root element and is not taking any space. So that's why use the React fragment in the React elements. So this is all about the JSX. So JSX means JavaScript in XML format. So it is the integration of JavaScript in HTML. First, if you want to use JavaScript in HTML, we use the curly brackets. Between the curly brackets, we write the HTML. And generally, class names as a class in HTML, but class must be class name in camel case. Class name. And event name must be camel class. And event values as arrow function. Okay. And image tag must have the closing element. And if you want to use the one root element without any space, then use the React fragment. These are called the React fragments. These are called the React fragments. Okay, this is called the React fragment. No, this is all about the JSX in React. No, I will explain the what is the state in React. What is the state in React? How to write it in? How to write it? Okay. Now remove all the things. Okay. Uh, I have some plain component. So this is my plain component. There is only HTML then. Now state is the an object. State in React is state is you say it is an built-in or is an object which contains component informations, which contains the component information. So we have an object in a component. We have an object. That object contains the component information. Okay. So now how to write state in the functional components and a class components. I will explain. Okay. First thing, let's go to the class component. In the class component, first in the constructor file. Okay, in the constructor, you define the method constructor. Okay, in the class component, first at the top of the class component, first we need to define the method constructor. This constructor takes the some props as the object. Let's I will tell you about these things later. Okay. Okay. So in the class component, first I have the in this constructor, I will define the state object. So, what is the state in object? So what I will do is this dot state. Sorry, this dot state equal to one example. So what is, for example, this is a topic components. So this topic information. So let's, for example, topic name, topic ID. For example, topic ID one, topic name. Let's say this is topic one. Okay. So this class component, this topic component has some information. So what information is ID and name. So this name, this information we put in an object. This is the state. We put in an object. This is the state. So the state is an object which contains the this component information. State in an object which contains the this component information. For example, so this topic have the what is this topic have this component have information ID name. I want to display the component name. So what I will, if I want to display this this component uh, this topic name. So here this is the JavaScript. So what I will do, I will do as the curly brackets. Now I want to call the name. So what I will do is this dot state dot name, right? Let's see. So here it's telling this is the problem. So here we here a construct with the state here. So what is that super? It must be a super method. If you want to use a super here, you use a super method in the constructor, because I will tell you why this use a super method. See, if you write the state, if you write directly this the state component, don't know what is the state. Actual state in object, built-in object. State is a built-in object. State is a built-in object. Okay, that means already one state value in the this reactor component, this parent component. If you want to use the parent component's value in the child value, the constructor I use the super method. Okay, super method. So then only I can use the state or state object value, because state is then one built-in object which contains the component information. So if I want to use this built-in state object, we must define the super method in the constructor. If you not define the super method, this class does not don't know what is the state here. Actual state is defined in the parent component. This parent component. This is the parent component. If you want to use the parent component value in the child value in the component class, we use the super method in the constructor. Okay. So now see here, this is topic. What you will get here. This the state dot name. This the state dot name. Topic one. Let's see. You got right. This is topic one. Right here, right? So if we clear, for example, if you want to put in one another thing, I will put in the strong words. Okay, strong element. See, so state is a one built-in object. One is built-in object which contains the component information. So in this object, why we this for the way this component information ID name we are maintaining here. So wherever matter information, I'm calling like this dot state dot name. So wherever I want, directly the value is coming. This is the first thing. So state is a built-in element which contains component information. Second thing, if you change the state value, the component is re-rendering. The component is re-rendering. So what is the thing? If we change the state value, the component is re-rendering. That means if we change this value, the component re-rendering. Re-rendering means the component load again. That means so component is load re-rendering means, let's say for example, I use the one share here. So let's go to app.js. This is the course component. Okay, in the lesson component we have topic. Let me I put in this topic component under the HR tags. Okay, so now this is the for this part only. This is the topic component. So component re-rendering means only this part only change. It's not to load the all the part, whole the components, because this is all the app component. This is the course component. This is the lesson component. This is the top component. If I change the state value in the topic value, only this part only change. This part only change. That means this part only re-rendering. This part only loads again. And this component only not the whole page, only this part. That's why React is single page applications. Only the particular components are changing, not the whole page. Because so if I change the state value into component, only that particular component only re-rendering. This particular component only loads again. So what are the if I change the state value? For example, this topic component, I have this value. If I change this state value, for example, I want to change. If I change the state name, if I change this state name, now if we change this component, I'm changing the state value name value. Then only this particular part only re-rendering. Okay. Now, how to change the state value? Okay. Let's say I want to change to this state value. I click the button. So what I will do is first I write one function here. For an example, like the change title. Okay. Okay. So if I call this function, I want to change the state value. What I will do is this dot state. If you want to change state value, we use the state function. Okay. So let's remember, state is the to define the states. If you use set to state function, set state function, then the state value will change. So, so here I use the if I call change title function, I want to change the state value. To change the state value, what I will use this dot set state. Okay. Now in this set function, what we are changing, you are changing the name, right? So here you call one object. What you are changing the only name only. You change the state, right? What you are changing name value. Like for example, topic 2. This is the one way. Otherwise, remove this one. So what you are doing, you change this state. You are changing the name value as top. Actually, previous value is the topic one. Now you are changing the state value using the function state function. You change topic 2 one to topic 2. When in the function when I call this function, okay, let's remove this one. Otherwise, remove this one. Write a button here. Okay, button. Okay, change the title here. To change title, click here. If you see why this error is coming, we have two elements here. So we put in the fragment. Let's put in the fragment. Okay. Okay. Now I write a button. If I click this button, I want to change the state value. So if you click, that means I would the event like on click. So in on click, what I will do is I use the parenthesis. Here I use the arrow function. What I am doing, I want to change the state. If you want to change it, what I use this dot set to state. Okay. So what we want to change the name to topic name to topic 2, right? So state value is the topic 1. Okay, if I click this button, I'm changing the state value. To change state value, I use the this state function. Which in the state we have different their ID is there, name is there. What you are trying to change, changing only name value only. That's the name to topic 2. Let's see. So initially the state value is topic 1. If we click this button, the topic will change, right? So the thing here is, let me show something to you. Let's inspect only this part only. So this is complete our HTML, right? This is all HTML. So in this root element, within the all the app element. In the app element, we have the class component. In the have listener component. In this listener component, we have the this whole is the topic. So if we click this button, only this value will re-render. Let's see here. If you see here, all this part will change, but not the whole part. Okay, observe. You can observe. But if you observe, so what happen if if they click the button, the state value will change. What I told you, if a state value change, the component is re-rendering. That means this part only re-render, not the whole part. See here, if I click this button, state value changing. So only this part will be re-rendering. Okay, this concept is called the state. So if there's a concept called virtual DOM concept, I will explain the next lesson. So in this way, I define the state, how to define the state in the class component, how to change the state. To define the state in class component, first in the constructor, we use super method. Okay. Now you create the one object, this is the state. In this object, I use the properties. In this object, it contains the component information. So state is an built-in object that contains the component information. For example, this component I maintain the information ID name. If you want to change the state value, I use the state function. And whatever value you want to change, there that is mentioned in the object. So in this way, you will define the state and state from the class components. Now, how to define the state in the functional components? Come here. This is the functional component. In the functional component, we use state hook. What is use state hook to define state values, to define state. Okay, we use the use state hook in the in functional components. Okay, so use state hook. What is the hook? What is the hook? I will explain the what is the hooks. What the hooks is a subset of functionality to achieve something in the functional components. I- Actually, so actually previously we had only class components only. Later we are using the functional from the React 18 version 19 they introduced the functional components. So whatever the functions we have in the class component, same thing we need to use the functional components. To achieve that one, we define they define the concept called hooks. Okay, I will explain clearly about the hooks later. So if we define state the in the functional component, I use the use state. For example, the lesson. Okay, I want to define the state. So what is the state? State is the an object. Okay, first I define the what is define something. For example, data. Okay, constant. If you want to define state, use the constant array. First mention the state. Let's say for example data. State, what is state name? Data. Okay. So what is this is the state. So here the data. Let's say info. Okay. So equal to use state. If you use it the use state. This use state must be we need to import from the React library. Okay. So use state. You see, so to define the state in the functional components, we use a use state function. So whatever in the mention the use state there, this comes in this here. So for example, I want to for this component I want to put the data ID and title. For example, ID is lesson ID. Okay, title is the lesson one. Now I define an object, info object. The values are ID, title. So those are comes under the state when I use the use state function. When we use the use state function, whatever value to pass the use state function is goes to the info function. If we we can separately not only so here we use some one object and instead of the object of what I will do is I will define the individual values. For example, I want ID value. I want to maintain the ID value only instead. Then what I will use constant. Okay. In the arrow I put the ID. Okay. So use state. So ID value 1. So here initially ID value 1. Now let's define the other title value. Title state. Constant title. The use state function. Lesson 1. So here we define two state. One is the ID state value, one is title state value. How we use state function. So now I want to use this title value in the component. So directly I can this is JavaScript. Directly put the parenthesis as title. See here I got lesson 1, right? Lesson 1, right? In this way we can define the state value. So in this way, if you define the state value in the functional component, use the use state. Now I want to change the state value in the functional component. So what I will do is, for example, I want to change the title value. Here I use a camel case. In the same way, the comma, I use camel case set. What is state value here? Title. That is T capital here. So if you want to change this title value, you need to call the function set title. For example, here I put the one button. Okay. So this change the lesson name. So when I click the button, so what I will use the button, I use the on click. Okay. When I choose the on click, I want to change titles. To change title, what function I need to use the set title. So in the arrow, I use the arrow function here. Okay, set title. So whatever value, for example, lesson 1, I want to change the lesson 2. So to change the state value, set state. What is state name here? Title. So set title. If you want the ID value, addition, what I will do here, I use the set ID. Okay. In this way, you can change. For example, if you click in lesson name, so you change the lesson. If you see here, only the particular lesson value changes. So if you change the state value, only the particular component will re-render, right? Right, only this value is changing. So in the functional component, we use the use state. So whatever the we can define the many number of state values like independently, like individually, like any value, use state, any value. If you want to change the any value, ID state, I use set state. I define the title state using the user state. I give some default value here. If you want to change the state value, I use the set title. In this way, we can define the state and how to change the state value using use state hook in the functional component. So this is the all about state. So state is an built-in object which contains the component information. If you want to change the state, if you change the state value, the component is re-rendering. Only the particular component re-rendering. So the class component use the state, this state. If you want to change the state value, use this the state. This state, this the state, this state, and this the set state. Before that, so these are functions within the class component. The functional component, if you want to define the state value, you define the use state hook in the function. In this way, we can define the state and use the change the state value in the class of functional component. So these state values we can change. The thing is state value we cannot change directly, right? State value we cannot change directly. That means, for example, I have the title here. So what I will do is I use the title equal to lesson 2 here. So is it changing? Is it changing? Let's see. So the lesson 3. Okay, let's so here define and now here it is changing. Let's see it is changing or not. See it's telling some error. Okay. Okay. Is it checking for set title? Okay, set title. Okay. So we define title value lesson 1. Later we change to lesson 4. Let's so what is the output do you think here? Here we got the lesson 4 but it's not correct. So here assignment to constant. So once we define the state value, we use the constant. So the JavaScript we cannot directly change the constant values. So state value cannot change directly. If you want change state value, we use set state function. Okay, set state function. So state value can change directly. If you want to change state value, we can use the set state function, right? So state values are mutable. That means we can change mutable. We can change. Mutable means we can change. How? Using the state function. So state values states are the mutable. So this is the all about the state. Let's comes under the props. No, props. Let's explore what are the props. Okay. Actually, state is the data inside the component only. Inside the component only. So this data is not coming from the outside. So this state value is not coming from the outside. Inside the component only we are using the state. But props is data coming from the outside. Data coming from outside to this component through props. through props. Okay. So, for example, this is the class component, right? So this for this topic component, I want to send some data from the outside. So those data comes using the props. So if we use the props as an argument to the constructor, whatever passed to this component is comes in the props. For example, let's conjure props. Okay, let's see what let's see constructor is the when they click on. Okay, go to conjure. So what we are getting the empty object. If we enter data, we are getting the empty data. That means we are not passing any data to this component. So how to pass data? So whatever data are passed to this component, this comes as the props. Okay. Let's say this topic component is the here in the course, I think, in the lesson here. So if you want to pass some data, this topic component, we can props as a props like or when the props as name equal to value. Props as the name value. Name equal to value. For example, is this topic component we call as an element. If you pass, now I want to pass the for this topic, like for example, topic ID, topic name, right? Author. Okay, like for example, author name, like or author name, author or admin. Otherwise, something other name. Okay, let's say Prakash. So here property name is the other, value is the Prakash. So name equals to value. So here what is the props property we are passing other. So to this topic component we are passing data from the lesson component using the name equal to value process. So if you see here, if you refresh, you got right other Prakash. So this other Prakash will directly not in the functional component level. This data is comes from the out of parent component, from lesson component. So we are passing data to this component from the outside. So these are comes on the props. These are called the props. So here I can use the directly. For example, I use the other name. So okay, author name. So directly I call the props. So this props, this dot props. What props we pass? They pass the other. Okay. You see here, I got the Prakash here. So this Prakash, I mean this component, this property name is not we're not defining the component level. We are passing this property value from the outside. So whatever passing, we can use the inside the component. For example, we can pass multiple values. For example, I want to pass date, okay, or date or date or year, okay, 2025, okay. So now we're passing the properties other and where to this component. If you want to use this property, for example, we this dot prop dot where. If you see here, we got a 225. So in this way, props are data coming from offset to the props. So to this topic component, we are passing the data and name equal to value format. Those are comes under the props. But the thing is, props are immutable. Props are immutable. That means we cannot change the props. So because props data is coming from the outside this component. So props we cannot change we cannot change. Let's say for example here I'm trying to change the props dot where as the 2030. We pass the year value as the 225. I'm trying to change the props value like this dot. Let's see it will changing or not. It's changing. It's not changing. Change the cannot assign the read property. So we cannot change the props data. But state data we can change. State is the mutable. Props are the immutable. In this way, so we pass the data, we pass the props to the component using the name equal to value. Whatever data we're passing to this component in the class components comes as the props. Let's say in the function component. For example, I have the lesson component. This is the functional components. So whatever data we pass here is comes as the props. Okay. For example, the here same for the app component I'm passing the for the lesson I'm passing the other Ramesh. Okay, other value as Ramesh. Okay, so here props. So here I'm using the other value, the lesson other value. I'm using the here. So what I'll do is props dot other. Let's just say the props here, not here. Let's see. See, if for this listener component, we pass the only other property, but we not pass the where property. Let's see what happened. If you see here, Ramesh, only the other value is coming, but the where value because we are not passing. So whatever passing data is comes on the props. So if we pass here as the where also, for example, if we are passing the 2026. So now we are also coming. So in this way, so props in the pass the data. So props. So in the class component use the this dot props. In the functional component directly use the props value. So the data which is coming from the outside in this component, those are called the props. Props are generally name equal to value format. Okay. So props value cannot change. Props are the immutable. One more thing. So we have the concept called the pure components, impure components. Pure components, impure components. So the components which don't have the props, those are the pure components. For example, this component here we're not using any props, so any data is not coming from the outside. Those are called the pure components. That means the component does not depend on data from outside, right? Means no props. Okay, but impure components data coming from outside depends on what data comes from outside. So if for example, if we change this value, the component will change. So if the outside value change, the component changes. These are the impure. If the data, if there is a component which does not have any data from the outside, those are the pure components. So this is all about the state and prop. State is the complete state is a Boolean object. It contains the one more thing. If we change the props value, the component is not in it because we cannot change the props value, right? Right. So state comes in state is a Boolean object. If we change the state value, the component is re-entering. Okay, state value are mutable. If you change state value, you cannot change state directly. We use state function. Props are data coming from the offset through the props. So props are the mutable. So pure component, the data which does not have data from the offset, those are pure component. Pure data comes from the outside. So this is the all about the JSX state props into necklace. If anyone claim the one-to-one on these classes, contact me 78 427 13813. Okay, thanks for today class.